Welcome to Pitch in the Zone, our weekly gathering of coaches that help one presenter with a 3-minute pitch. Our coaches today are, like every week, Nathan Gold, hailing from San Francisco. He specializes in high-stakes presentation coaching. We have Scotty Spursum, also from San Francisco. Her focus is language. We have Michael Marchak from Chicago, currently freezing up there. Michael is an executive with Blue Prism, but also an author and speaker. We have Marco Vezzale joining us from the beach in Thailand. He is an entrepreneur and also doubles as our timer today. And then we have other regular participants, Rick Pollack, a communications expert, trainer, and coach. We have Liederman Duin, Kevin Minier, and Scott Peak. And our presenter today is Debbie Kusik. Debbie has been in the pitch zone twice so far. So this is the third time. It's going to be a charm. She is the founder of Tecton. Debbie, welcome again to Pitch in the Zone.
Thank you very much.
Just to refresh our memory, what is going to be your target audience, Debbie?
This time it'll be the solution providers and vendors, technology vendors.
All right, we put our solution provider and vendor hats on. And with that, Debbie, the floor is yours. Once you start speaking, Marco will start the timer.
Hey. Everybody can see my screen okay?
Perfect, love it.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you so much for taking the time today to learn about my tech-only platform, Tecton. Did you know there are over 525,000 software and IT service companies in the US? And all of these companies and their partners are competing for attention. They may be using email campaigns, banner ads, social media, but many of us will no longer give up our personal information to access content. I've been selling software and hardware for over 35 years. Marketing campaigns that get triggered when someone comes to your website are a waste of time and money if you don't have a lot of people coming there. I created Tecton because of my experiences as both a buyer and a seller. I wanted to build a platform that had no ads, links, no ads, distractions, and I wanted to help solution providers reach their prospects in a new way. So how does Tecton help you increase visibility and sales? I'm going to give you a quick peek. Here's our website. We have tech news, webinars, podcasts, tech jobs. And when you click on one of our lists here, we have everything categorized by a tech category. It's sortable. And you can also type in a word here. So I'm going to type in armor just to give you an example. Armor Security has a white paper on our site. They're a sponsor of our tech news. If they had a tech job in our list or they had a webinar going on, they would be seen 4 times on our site. So there's a lot of opportunity for visibility. And in regards to sponsorships, we go above and beyond. This is a LinkedIn post I wrote. I'm going to read it to you. At Tecton, we reach out to many vendors who will not share their content without getting personal information in exchange. It feels good to support those that have our same passion and mission. Thank you for visiting our sponsors and contributors when they fit your needs. And we tag all these companies here. This is another linked one. It's a little different in that we have a link directly back to our site to that content, but we're tagging and promoting this company. Then daily, we put screenshots out of our tech news and our webinars on LinkedIn and Twitter. And we not only tag like Armor, but we tag all these other companies too. So we give a lot of free publicity to a lot of companies on a daily basis. We have only been live since September, and our viewership is on the rise. We would love to have you involved in our growth, and we would love to help you with your marketing and sales outreach. Thank you for taking a few minutes today to check out our platform and consider being a sponsor or supporter. Thank you.
Wow, absolutely awesome, Debbie. Really, really well done. If I may ask you to stop sharing the screen.
Okay.
I have to say, comparing this to the first time you presented here, it was night and day. I loved your energy level in the beginning. Really, really very nicely, energetically started this entire thing, but still appeared relaxed and confident and comfortable. Really, really great.
I'm trying to stop my share here.
Yeah.
Your screen sharing, stop the share. There we go. I'm sorry.
All right. So let me open up the round of feedback. I'm going to start with Michael. He has put a few comments into the chat box as always. So Michael, please take it from here.
I agree with Claudio. Your energy was much different than it was on your first round. This was much, much better. I also like the slides. These seem like they're very nice, nicely done. When you started talking about who you were in terms of where you're talking to the providers themselves, you mentioned that there are 525,000 of these providers, and maybe personalize it so that it's really talking to them. So, you're only one of 525,000 IT providers out there, and it's hard to get visibility for your services or products and whatnot. That's where we come into play to be able to help you get additional visibility and then go through some of those things. You mentioned, your platform providing this extreme, other visibility using your posts and whatnot. I probably wouldn't read your LinkedIn post. I would probably talk to them rather than read them verbatim. But your discussion related to, we're showing these X number of sponsors who do that. Once you have a very popular platform where you may have hundreds or thousands of these providers on there, how do you intend to continue to provide a spotlight onto specific providers or provider types, so that my company would be shown instead of just a list of 50 other companies or 100 companies that you put in there? So, I mean, right now when you're in a smaller thing, you can focus on a couple providers and give them, the spotlight. But when you have you have a much larger audience, how is that going to work? I'm not sure. As a provider, I would know where I would fit within that once you do grow. And then maybe the last thing too is, when I looked at your growing numbers, maybe that's in a starting up perspective, it's good. But for me, I'm not going to know or care what your numbers are unless you're projecting them. If you tell me if you had 500 people join your site, I'm not sure that's good or bad. If you had 100 million views, and then I'd probably say, yeah, we have 100 million people visiting our site every month, blah, blah, blah. Maybe if your numbers were larger, I would promote that rather than showing that you're growing slowly. Just my 2 cents.
Thank you, Michael.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much, Michael. And I'm just going to go in order of how the thumbnails are on my screen today. So the next up would be Marco. Marco, what have you noticed? You always have a great, great eye for details. Please take it from here.
Yes, thank you. Well, as Michael said, and Claudio too, great improvement, way cleaner, way focused, way better. So having said so, I have my first suggestion. Maybe to me, if you say 500,000 something, if you say maybe 500,000, it makes more impact. To me, 500,000 is bigger than 500,000. So it sounds more to me. It's just an advice. I've seen you maybe reading sometimes down on the keyboard or somewhere. So of course I would have preferred you memorizing the speech. But the thing I really didn't understand it. Maybe it was me, but you concluded the thing like if you want to become a sponsor, but what are you going to give to the sponsor back? I didn't understand how it works for the sponsor. I mean, what you get back from what you pay for. But yeah, like everybody said, like it was wow, totally from night to day. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you, Marco.
Indeed. Thank you. And this is really, it just shows the value of these sessions here, because you have not only been pitching before, but you've also attended a few sessions as a participant. And I truly believe we always learn so much when we observe others and listen into the feedback that others receive. Moving right along, Liederman, you are sitting in a nice, cozy, warm spot in front of your fireplace there. Please enlighten us with your feedback, Liederman.
Debbie, I liked it. Right energy. And I agree with the comments about reading. I think you can improve that somehow, make it more maybe with some animation or something that proves the point without you having to read it. I'm still trying to figure out the. I keep thinking about the hook. I mean, I like the presentation, but there's got to be something, and I think you can. And I don't have the answer, but I think there's a hook in there that you're closer, but you're not there yet. Why do I want to join this? Why is that? Oh, I get it. Wow, yeah, makes sense. That's what I still don't get, but I think you're getting closer. So yeah, great job.
Thank you, Liederman. And moving along, Nathan, what kind of feedback do you have for Debbie?
Yes, I'm off mute. Okay, so perfect transition because I was going to mention the hook as well. Thank you, Liederman, for giving me the opening. Debbie, awesome remake from what we've seen in the past. The opening, first 50 seconds, had all of the elements of an outstanding, grabbing hook. And if all we did was simply break it down, pick out the pieces like after 35 years of selling software to solution providers and vendors like you, blah, 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 blah. We then tell them what it is they're about to hear or get them curious. You establish your credibility for being in the business that long or 3 decades or something like that. So if all we had you do is rework that opening 50 seconds, then I think we will be more in line with what you're hoping we feel or think about what you're doing, which leads me to, as soon as you get that line where you're actually hooking us or telling us literally what it is you do, that's where we need that psychological pause to go. So you just take an extra deep breath while we process that. Oh, is that what that I'm about to hear kind of thing? And then the last thing is breathe more. Breathe more. When you got into it, you were really in a flow, and then all of a sudden I don't know if Scotty noticed it, but your voice sort of changed a little bit because it looked like you were just doing what they call clavicle breathing instead of, full breath where your oxygen goes down into the abdominal cavity area. So that's what I got for you. But thank you for coming back 3 times. It's so wonderful, as Claudio says, to see the improvement. And it just proves once again that iterating on any type of talk, pitch, storytelling is really the only way to get it like in your heart so it reaches our heart. You can't just write a script, go up on the stage and just normally, unless you're an actor or an actress, and make it sound like you're there. But thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. And we have plenty of time today because we are a relatively small group. So Scotty, please elaborate and take all the time that you need to help Debbie improve this already much improved pitch.
Yeah, Debbie, it was great. I mean, your voice sounded wonderful. You sounded confident, and great start. I agree with all the other comments thus far, so I won't repeat too much. But in the second half, I did detect your voice didn't sound as confident, and it sounded, I don't know if it was rushing or just, it almost felt like you were fading just a little bit. So the breathing will help, and really, actually checking your posture is one of the first things I talk to people about. And it's super simple. Since we have time, I'll give you a little tip. You just really want to keep your eardrums over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips, which everybody can do right now sitting down. And what it does is it puts your lower back in neutral, and it allows your diaphragm to do the expansion in every direction. And that alone actually keeps your clavicle open, that area, and it makes you. I think it makes me feel more confident, and I think people look more confident when their posture is good. If you're standing, obviously you do eardrums over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips, and hips over your ankles, with your knees bent a little bit. But even in this medium, we can check our posture, sitting here. So your voice was great, slides were great. I did Google the website right before you started, and when I just put in Teckedin.com, it was nothing could come up. Then I put in www.tecton.com, and it came up as docs.tecton.com. Is that right?
That's right, but thank you for letting me know. I thought we fixed that www, so thank you for.
Yeah, so just heads up. So it took me a little while to find it. I'm like, oh, it didn't show up. That seemed odd. So, and then glitches happen. The other thing is I still didn't get why you. It almost sounded like you like, here we've got this great platform. We'd like you to take a look at it. This is how it works. And I've been in the business for 30 years or 35 years. I was like, whoop, so your frustration led you to start this, 6 months ago, right? It was was it just in September?
Actually, this has been something I've worked on for over 2 years, but we've completely started fresh in September.
Okay.
Like with all new everything.
Okay. So I didn't know whether you could leverage that and say in the last 6 months. So 6 months ago, we I don't know, rebranded, or 6 months ago we had a new launch, or whatever your wording is, and look at what we've been able to do. And as you got to the LinkedIn post, you could say, and we offer promotion like this on LinkedIn, and we'll give you so many touches or so many key publicity points. I also think you could be clearer with your call to action, and again, more power in your voice as you use your diaphragm to do that, and take advantage of the pause within that. It was sort of like not really a call to action, but come join us, as opposed to please visit our website, sign up right now. We're finding great success for our solution providers and our vendors, and we look forward to partnering with you. Something a little more, come join us, I think would be great. And I think that was it. So it was really night and day, and you look calmer, you look more confident, and that comes through dramatically. So congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, step by step by step. And I loved your feedback about the posture, Scotty. This is something that especially people that are used to speak to an audience in a live format, standing. And now all of a sudden we are sitting at home at our desks and we forget about the posture because it's such a comfortable spot for us. So we might lean back or whatever. But I think if we take our cues from broadcasters, professional broadcasters, you will notice they're always sitting extremely straight, as Scotty mentioned, ears above the shoulders, shoulders above the hips. Really, really great feedback there, Scotty. Thank you very much. Moving on, Rick, what have you noticed and how can Debbie improve her current version of the pitch?
Well, Debbie, this is the first time I saw your pitch, but I thought you were very comfortable from the other people's comments there. What I really liked about it was from your comments at the beginning, you identified the problem very well. People don't like giving up personal information. So I think that you identified that well. And also yourself, you mentioned you have experience as a buyer and seller. So I think watching that, I would feel comfortable working with you. You come across very well and comfortable, and someone I would trust on that. One thing I think that where you could improve that is I didn't see a lot of proof of saying, well, people don't give up information on the website for all these 525,000 people who have opt-in things now, or find that the opt-in isn't effective because people don't want to give up that information. You transition from that and say, well, we tag you on LinkedIn, or we have all these people on there and we tag people daily on LinkedIn. I'd like to see something a little stronger of how that's actually more effective, or getting all the people who don't fill out the forms, and how they can get some analytics from that. Because if I have an opt-in on my website and I have them on my mailing list, I can see what they opened, I can see what links they clicked on, and it gives me information, and I can go out and reach out to them. If I'm a service provider, do I want to sign up with you and then find out, well, what do I get? Do I get everyone who clicked on the link on from what Debbie said, and when she tagged my company, how many people clicked on it? What type of analytics? So I think that's something that you can put more in there and really give a convincing results. Or someone who signed up with you said, hey, I've got 30 new clients or 300 new clients that I got through what Debbie posted on LinkedIn. So I think if you have any kind of testimonial or any kind of proof of results, that's going to make it a lot stronger.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay.
Nice, great, valuable feedback as well. Thank you, Rick. And moving to Kevin Minier, what have you noticed and how can you help Debbie improve her pitch?
Thanks very much, Claudia. And thank you, Debbie. I haven't seen you present before either, but I found it very, very comfortable, very easy to watch, very enjoyable. Got to the end, no problem with doing that. But I was confused. That's all I can say. I was confused by the end of it. I didn't really know what it was that that you were selling or buying or whatever it was. And I think that's similar to what Rick said, is that, you know, if it looked a little bit like what you're saying is I can get you presence on LinkedIn. Well, but why credibility can you do better than I can do for myself on my own stuff? And that didn't come, well, as Rick said, you didn't really provide that, I don't think. With regarding what Scotty was saying, which is very true, I don't know, were you jumping between slides and the website and things like that? Because if you did, you were very quick, but that's where it looked like you started to lose your focus and your concentration. Yeah, that's about it really, is that, yeah, so I think it was really good, and I wish I understood what it was you were selling. Oh, and therefore, oh yeah, you also gave a bit of a sort of, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, because we're like-minded people and with stuff like that. Didn't sound like a business in that sense. It's, you know, so again, who pays and how's it paid for? So, but thank you very much, and I did enjoy it. I did.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. And this was a great, great example. Your feedback as well as Rick's feedback, because you heard this now for the first time. We heard it 2 or 3 times. So we had the gist of what it's all about. And this is what I love, when a fresh pair of eyes and ears is looking at this. And if Kevin says, I didn't fully understand what it's about, that's a great, great hint that a little bit more work, of course, is needed. And with that, I want to go to Scott Peak. You will be our presenter next week.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, 2
yes.
weeks, right?
So what kind of feedback do you have to offer for Debbie?
Hi, Debbie. This is also my first time to see it. And I liked it at the start where you showed the problem, how many are out there in the field and what you could do. But I also agree that the testimonials would really be a big hit, and a big part of this is that you could say, here's what, and that would be a very quick part of that. What are companies' advantages that you can provide? And that would be something that would be also grabbed, because there has to be that transition at the end of what's the solution and where can I get it and how can that be proved? But overall, I thought it was a great, good flow. I hope I can do as well.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Scott. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Valuable feedback as well. And based on this feedback, Debbie, I would definitely like to see you back again. There is no limit to how many times people can come to pitch in the zone. You would be the first person that comes for the 4th time. But
wait, is the challenge on right now for how many times people will be coming back now?
Exactly. We had one person before that came 3 times. And, in your case, I think, especially the last 3 people that provided feedback, Rick, Kevin, and Scott, gave you something that you can work with and make this one pitch so superb. So I would love to see you come back, Debbie. There is no rush. Take your time, but please do come back. All right, and with that, my camera just went out again. So
It's okay. We can still hear you, Claudio.
yeah, let me just switch over to a different camera and a slightly different angle. And there we go, we are back. So with that, well, this is one of the things that we all have to get used to. Technical challenges. And usually they happen, as our good old friend Murphy said, usually at the wrong place and wrong time. It's something that we can practice. So embrace any technical failure as they happen, make a mental note on how you can solve them very quickly, and the show is going on. With that, I want to thank Debbie for coming back a third time, showing us the improvement that is possible based on feedback and also observation of other presenters. I want to thank all of the coaches today on the call: Michael, Marco, Nathan, Scotty, Rick, Liederman, Scott, and Kevin. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you next week again. And oh, by the way, yes, Scott isn't coming next week. You're coming in 2 weeks, right?
Oh.
Yes. For next week, we do have an open slot. So if any of you have a friend or want to give it a try yourself to pitch in the zone, please go to presenterzone.com/pitchzone and simply click on the button I want to pitch. Select the date. Again, next week is still open. Grab it, because as Debbie demonstrated here today, there is value in these sessions. And with that, I wish you all a great day, afternoon,
Thank you, everyone.
evening, yes, and see you again next week. See you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.